Time for a check on business news. Richard Southern joins us from the home office. Richard, some big news today from one of the world's biggest coffee chains who could be closing a number of Canadian stores.
Starbucks, Janella, to close possibly up to 200 of its Canadian stores. Now, it has just a little bit over 1,100 stores, so this would be potentially 17% of all Starbucks locations here in Canada closing within the next 18 months. This is big news indeed. Now, the company does point out that some of the stores slated for closure could be repositioned, as they put it, meaning they could move potentially to a new area or a new format. And we've heard Starbucks talk in the last little while about how it wants to open more to-go stores where you just sort of pick up coffee and take off again. Starbucks also eyeing hundreds of store closures in the United States. It's reporting a 45% drop in sales. All this, of course, tied to the pandemic. You know, Janelle, early research suggests that we will, or many of us will, be working from home permanently after COVID's over and done with. That's bad news for Starbucks because this company relies heavily on the morning time, on people grabbing their coffee in the AM before they head into work. If they're not doing that as much, it's bad news for Starbucks. It's also the case, Janella, that a lot of people like me have started making coffee at home now where they haven't before. That's a trend that could continue.
I got to say, this was pretty shocking news to me because, you know, we hear about the small businesses struggling, but you think of Starbucks, this huge business, as being able to weather the storm. So if they're making major cuts, I have to wonder what that means for everyone else.
They are a bellwether. It's troubling news. It's bad news for the landlords, too, that will own a lot of the properties that Starbucks rents from. So it's, yeah, big deal indeed.
All right, we'll have to keep an eye on that. Meanwhile, Dollarama stores have remained open during this pandemic, and the company is reporting mixed results financially.
Yeah, kind of very telling results in from Dollarama, this discount chain that a lot of people, Janella, say is well positioned for a recession because of the, you know, the cheaper items that it sells. It said sales actually grew over the last 3 months. But shoppers, it said, were actually spending more every time they went in. The average transaction was up 22%, but people went in less than they used to. Traffic was down 19%. So fewer people went in, but when they did, they bought more. Profitability was hurt at Dollarama because shoppers bought lower margin items like toilet paper and hand sanitizer. Interestingly enough, though, the company says it's going to push ahead with plans to open another 400 brick-and-mortar stores over the next 7 years. Janelle.
Interesting. I'll admit I've made many trips to Dollarama over this pandemic, partially because they're one of the places that is open if you need little small knickknacks and things. And also, as you said, when you can't find stuff at the other places, you might find it at Dollarama. Toilet paper, hand sanitizer, all that kind of stuff.
Yep. Okay,
Toronto could be getting another huge condo, and it would take the place of one of the city's most notorious clubs.
Yeah, Filmores Hotel, located close to where you are near Yonge and Dundas.
That's
there,
right,
Janelle.
just down the street here.
Absolutely. This, of course, a gentleman's club, a strip club, if you will. It's slated, though, to become a 46-story condo. This building was actually constructed 100 years ago as a hotel. Filmores took over in its current form back in 1985. I want to show you the building that they want to build here.
Wow.
Would have, look at that, stretching pretty high, 588 residential units. It would maintain that current brick facade. They would have to, Janella, because Filmores was designated a heritage site a couple of years ago. Management right now says the club will continue in its current form for the next couple of years. Janella, you and I are back just after 6:30. We're talking about Elmo, the cute little character from Sesame Street, is under fire from one TV host. We'll talk about that after 6:30.
All right, can't wait. We'll talk to you then.
Thanks.